Today I'm going to be unboxing the F-104G Starfighter by 21st Century Toys. And this is the German Marineflieger MFG2. I believe that's the German Navy. And this is in 1/18 scale. And it's already pre-built. You just have to assemble a couple pieces. They did make a couple other variants. Here's a little detailed information right here. They made the Air Force scheme, a Vietnam scheme, and I believe there was another scheme. So it comes with assembly instructions. Start with the wing tanks. Comes with 2 of these. Really small font. I can barely make it out. Looks like it's also in German. Marine F-104 5921. That's in German as well. Warning, keep clear, arrestor hook spring loaded. You can actually see the turbine in there. There we go. I don't think this one spins like some of the other planes. Here's the tail hook. And does not look like it comes down. I'll look into that later. We have the fuselage. Jettison canopy, push button to open door, pull T-handle, out and 6 feet. And that looks like it's in German. This was an American plane, the F-104. I believe the A is the one Chuck Yeager flew and had to actually eject because he lost control. The Germans called this plane the Widowmaker because it was very hard to control because the wings were so short. And I think they lost like total 260 pilots, or at least aircraft. There's the nose cone. Do not paint. I believe this is the refueling probe. Let me know if I'm wrong in the comments. Here's the pilot. Not as detailed as some of the other pilots. And there's supposed to be a parachute probably in that pack over there. I don't know what these are. Probably for the rudder pedals, but if you know, shoot me a message in the comments. Gotta be careful with these. They haven't moved in several years. I don't know when this one was made, but I think it was made in the early 2000s. So you have to be careful. Sometimes these will break, these joints. All right. So in this little package, we have the parachute, which I'll put on the back of the pilot now. You just line up this section with there. Pretty tight fit, but it goes on. Then you have the helmet. And let's see, it says Major Braun, I believe. Has a number 2. Fits on just like that. It's kind of high on his head. I don't know if that's normal or not. Then you have the oxygen mask. There's little holes in the side of the helmet that it clips onto. This kind of looks like a girl right there. There we go. And then I believe these are the pitot tubes. All right, so on this side, we have the wings. This is the right wing. This is the left wing. This is a horizontal stabilizer. Correct me if I'm wrong. And then we have the missile rail here. And then the missiles. Comes with 2 missiles. All right, so the first thing it says to do is attach the nose to the fuselage. And it just has this tab here and then insert there. Just like that. Now we can install the pitot tube right here, which goes in the front. There's a little hole right there. You just slide it in like that. Okay, so something interesting. My plane actually came with 2 pitot tubes, and I don't know if there were 2 pitot tubes in this. The only thing I saw was the nose cone. This one though is solid plastic. Like, it doesn't really wiggle very much, which I like better. This one is rubber. It bends a lot. So I don't know what happened here, guys. If anybody knows why it came with 2 pitot tubes and why one's super rubbery and one's solid, let me know, but I'm gonna be using this one. Next, we're gonna put the tail into the fuselage. It has a pretty big indent there and tab here. So we're just gonna line it up. Make sure it's good on the bottom. A little bit more push. There we go. All right, now we're gonna install the stabilizer. And there's like a little tab right here. And there's a hole here. I found it easier just to remove the tail end again. And you just slide it on. Make sure the hole's lined up. The tab. Just push it in. Like that. So this is how you install the wing tanks. You line it up right here. And take the slot and you can see the indent right there. It matches up with that. Just wiggle it into place. Just like that. Same thing for the other side. Pretty tight fit. See a little bit of the paint chipped off there. That fits pretty good. So to install the wings, it's just like the fuel tanks. You have the slot here with the same type of tab. Just make sure you line it up. And wiggle it in. That's actually a pretty good fit. Some of these models I review, they don't have as good of a fit. Like the back here, the tail, I'm gonna fix that. I'm gonna make sure that's a little more flush, by the way. And I notice if you push it together a little more, it's a little more flush, but I can adjust that later. So I'm not too concerned about that. There we go. Now we're gonna put the missiles onto the launcher. On the bottom here, you'll see these little tabs. And then the bottom of the missile, right there and there. Just line it up. Pop it in like that. Same thing for the other side. And there we go, missiles are on the launcher. Okay, to install the missiles on the actual plane and the fuselage, this launcher here has tabs. You can see 3 tabs on the bottom. They line up with these 3 holes here. It's kind of hard to do this with one hand as this thing's pretty long, but I'm going to attempt to do it. It's a little better to get it like this. There we go. And sometimes these planes, you have to kind of whittle the holes because this plastic doesn't fit completely perfect. There we go. All right, so the refueling boom fits into these 3 tabs here, or slots. You just kind of line them up like this. And they actually went in pretty good. And there you go. All right, now we're gonna do the front gear undercarriage. These doors just open like this. And then the wheel is spring loaded and it moves pretty easy, unlike some of the other models. And this, I really like what they did here. So you see how that shot out right there? That actually locks it in place with a spring. So the wheel now, it does spin. But now the landing gear can't go forward unless you pull it back a little bit, push that down, and then you see how that goes in. Really like that idea. So much easier than some of the other ones. And for the rear landing gear, just open this door and then this door. And then the wheel actually comes out like this. Again, spring loaded. I love it. Design is awesome. And then the wheel actually rotates, which is crazy, to the side like that. Same thing with the other side. You can hear that. I mean, it's solid. And you just rotate the wheel. There we go. All right, so for the canopy, it has a hinge on the back. Well, it's actually got 2 little notches that allow it to rotate up. And what I actually like about this is you can kind of wiggle it out like that and take the canopy off so you can get the pilot in a lot easier. Here's a detailed view of the cockpit. Okay, so it actually took quite a bit, and I'm glad that that canopy came off, because to get the pilot in there, I'm pretty picky with pilots, so I had to get, you see his hands actually around the stick, and his left hand's around the throttle. But his legs, because you only have this much space, and his legs were so long, they probably have to come to the very end of this. And then the way that the rudder pedals actually angle up like this. So I had to tilt his legs up. It was crazy, but I got him to fit. And it looks pretty good. You close the canopy. Fits good. And a side note, you cannot put, obviously, the parachute on whenever he's in there. There is no way he would fit. He barely fits out as it is. But I'm definitely glad they included a pilot, because some of the 1/18 scale models I review did not have pilots. Okay, so the flaps and the ailerons do actually rotate. The speed brake does not, which I'm kind of bummed about that, because some of the 21st Century Toys models, like the Sabre and the MiG-15, actually speed brakes deploy, and neither does the aileron or the stabilizer. That doesn't move as well, but the rudder does, and it moves pretty easy. It does roll, if you're wondering, but this landing gear would not be too hard on, to be honest with you. If you're just letting it sit, then it'll probably be fine. But if you plan on putting any force on it, I would not leave it on this landing gear. That or any of these. model's landing gear. They're just too fragile. They're plastic, and by now they're older plastic since they don't make them anymore. It says armament here, gun, missiles, bombs. This one only came with the bombs, the missiles. Upward ejection seat. These also move here. I'm not 100% sure what these are for. Maybe to help with drag as flaps, but if you know, let me know in the comments. Here it is completed. Looks pretty good. It's a very long plane. Here's my hand just to compare. It's really big, which I actually appreciate. Seems like it's pretty accurate for 118. Looks pretty good. If you haven't already subscribed, I have more videos on my channel and I have more coming soon. Here's a preview. Thanks for watching.